So here's that Juncker bicycle again. You know, the same one for which I rebuilt the rear wheel. And a couple of months ago I replaced the brake levers. But there still is an issue with the rear brake. I'll try to demonstrate. Alright. I locked the rear wheel, but I can still move the bicycle, and that's probably because I put some oil on here to get rid of a noise. This terrible, annoying and whining noise. I have no idea what is causing this whining noise. Well, the noise issue is gone, but the drum brake seems to be dragging. This lever here is not returning properly, and the cable is, well, it is completely loose, but still it is dragging when cycling. So I want to take this drum brake out because I found a replacement. So let's take the bicycle indoors because I think we might be getting some rain. Also the wind is picking up. I'm standing with my right foot on the brake lever. See how easy I can move the wheel? Yeah, that oil did help with the noise, but there's not a lot of stopping power left. So I guess I will have to take out the wheel. Removing the rear wheel from a bicycle with a full chain case is a big job. Except for the chain, everything on this side should be loose. So yeah, it's kind of hard to avoid that greasy chain. Okay, now I should be able to slide this thing out. What is... Of course, the whole wheel is stuck behind the mud cart. There it is. And still I need to touch that dirty chain. Well, it's free. At least that part is done. But I did get grease on my left index finger. And also my right. Because I rebuilt this wheel last winter. I just retensioned the spokes, and it still looks well, round enough for me. But yeah, this is the one and only wheel that is actually being used, that I rebuilt. So next I'm going to have a look inside this drum, and if you listen carefully, there is some scraping noise. And I think it is coming from inside this drum, but I'm not sure. The bicycle was still riding fine. The 3-speed shifter was also working perfectly. Alright, let's have a look inside. Before I open this thing up, I'll try to show you what I think is wrong with this thing. if I press this lever, it doesn't come back as far as it can go. And I'm hoping that this will be better with a drum brake that I found on the scrapyard. A little bit of lubrication is usually a good thing. Yeah, that's not going to work. I will put the axle in the vise. Well, I got it loose, and it was harder than I thought it would be. And I'm sorry, but I didn't feel like bringing the tripod. I actually had to hammer against this bracket in order to get this nut loose. Alright, let's spin this thing off. And this will be the second time that I'm looking inside the drum brake. The first time was the drum brake that I liberated from the junkyard. Yeah, that's pretty oily, and there's also quite a bit of grease in here, and that was also the case with the drum brake that I got from the scrapyard. That's kind of surprised me. If a car drum brake would look like this, well, you would have a problem. And as you can see, there's still plenty of brake material left. I doubt that there will be a whole lot of bicycles that will wear these things out in the Netherlands, because without any there's a washer. I should make a mental note of that. Without any hills, brakes have an easy life in this country. It still feels perfectly smooth on the inside. So it looks like this last bit of travel doesn't do a whole lot. It certainly doesn't move the brake shoes. So I don't think this was the problem. But there is some dirt, some fibers, maybe a piece of rope or string in here. Maybe that was causing trouble. Maybe it just needs a good cleaning. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the one that I found on the junkyard. This one, and it looks exactly the same, although the old one is a little bit more rusty. It also has some sort of bushing on this side. So I better move this onto here. But this one is only, well, it's not as oily, but there's still a whole lot of dirt on here. So the plan is to clean out this, well, it seems to be mud. The one that I found on the scrapyard is a bit rusty. So I will take this off with a piece of sandpaper. This is the old brake shoe, and I'm wondering how hard it will be to remove this, whatever it is. I'm wondering if I can remove it without destroying it. It's screwdriver time. I don't think it's a good idea to try and take that other one apart. It is a steel piece. Maybe if I put a socket on here and give it a little whack with a hammer, I can get it back in place. Perhaps a bit small. Good enough. Still works, and it's not like this is going to go anywhere when it is all assembled. So yeah, maybe I will take it apart. Well, I've decided that I'm not going to take this apart, but there is some rust on this brake shoe, so I'm going to see if I can sand that away with some, well, what is it? 80 grit. Too bad I cannot really chuck this up in the lathe. And I'm not really worried about asbestos, because this bicycle isn't very old. Probably something from in the 90s. Although this dust is probably still not really healthy. Well, I couldn't resist and took the old brake drum apart, and I guess these are all the parts that make up the brake drum. Well, I still don't know what to call them. They got a little bit damaged because I needed to use a lot of force, especially on the fig one, but I should be able to reuse them. I did sand the brake shoes. Here you can see the sandpaper that I used. Nice and black. I found out that this bushing that was inside this brake drum is, well, it fits over the cone and locks everything in place. So it kinda makes the cone into a fixed cone. And I did find out that the play in this brake lever is in this shaft. If I hold it on this side, you can see that it is moving. And this is the replacement brake drum, the one that I found at the scrapyard after I cleaned it up and used some sandpaper on the brake shoes. Hey, it almost looks brand new, and this one doesn't have any play in this lever, so that's well, it's a good thing, I guess. The wheel is still waiting for us in the vise, and I just took off the cone and put a few drops of oil in here in the hope that it will reach the internal gearing. I think I should be able to pry off this dust cover, but I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to put a little bit of fresh grease in here and call it good. I guess this is how all that grease ended up inside the drum. I'm not sure if I should worry about this. I think not. It's not a car. And again, we don't have any mountains in this country, so brakes are kind of optional. They can be nice to have. Greasy fingers. I think that's good enough. Here you can see that bushing that was on the drum brake, and it fits perfectly over this cone. Here's the washer that I found inside the drum brake. And now the drum brake mechanism and this bushing should go on top, locking the cone in place. To be honest, I'm not completely sure about this washer. I should look it up in the earlier recordings. And here's a lock nut. Now I should probably hold on to this bracket and then fasten the lock nut. A little bit more. Wheel is might be a little bit too tight. That's probably too much play. Well, I can feel a little bit of play, so I'm calling this good. So now it's time to reinstall the wheel in the bicycle. Oh, first I should test the brake. To be honest, I don't think there's a huge improvement, but maybe the brake shoes need to wear into the drum. Let's hope that is the case. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but I actually washed the bicycle. Well, washed is a big word. I rinsed off most of the dirt. Oh, I'm forgetting the tire. When I was washing the bicycle, a lot of paint actually came off from the mudguard. I guess this Juncker bicycle, well, it may have been made by Gazelle, but it is not of the same quality. Well, I will reinstall the tire and then reinstall the wheel. Well, the chain had fallen off the front gear wheel, so this is slowing me down, and I will definitely get dirty hands. Oh, this is a nightmare. Well, I'll switch out the camera before I start cursing. Well, after some struggle, I managed to reinstall the chain, and I did get dirty fingers. I still don't know on which side of the frame I should place these chain tensioners, and I did forget this anti-rotation washer. Not sure where this should go. And I also have some other washers that should probably go in between the frame, because there's quite a lot of room between the chain stays. I guess I could pinch everything together using the bolts, or the acorn nuts. Well, almost everything is back together, including the brake. And it is better than before, so that's good. But I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to see the axle through this hole here, and that is probably because I didn't use these two washers. One of these wasn't really fitting over the axle. That's kind of weird. And because there was room between the chain stays, these washers should probably go between the frame, and they are kind of hard to install, because then I will have to take off this chain again, and I'm definitely not going to do this tonight, because I already worked on too long. So I'm going to wash my hands and go to bed. I'll continue this tomorrow evening. And as you can see from my dirty hands, I still haven't gone to bed. First I'm going to take out this front wheel. I reassembled the rear wheel, but I did end up with an extra washer that really wasn't fitting on the axle. I'm not sure how that happened. And now I should be able to take out the wheel. Why is it so difficult? Oh yeah, of course. The cable. Now I should take it. Still is difficult. Come on! Stupid wheel. Give it up. Why is it so difficult? I should empty my hands. Okay. Placing my clogs on the handlebar. There it is. I win. Okay. Now we should have a look inside this brake drum. Well, I moved everything back to the vise. Feels like the cones are a bit loose on this hub. Well, that's kind of weird. And also, check this out. It is hard to turn this, and it sounds dry and rubbing, and I was expecting this to spin freely. I guess we should have a look inside. That's same bushing again. Some brake dust, and compared to the other to the rear drum, it's pretty dry in here. And the cone has moved upwards, but I think that was my fault. It's reasonably dirty. I inspected the cone and, well, I'm no expert, but I think this is still usable. Well, some fresh grease. It's always a good rust preventative. So, all of the play is gone. Most of the dirt is gone. So it's the next day, next evening actually, and the last thing I did is clean out this drum, and it still looks very nice. I actually did a little bit of sanding on the inside here. Not sure if that was really necessary, but I did. I adjusted the cone, and while the wheel is turning smoothly. Hopefully that will still be the case when I reinstall the brake shoes. And here are the brake shoes after I cleaned them up. And I also did a little bit of sanding on the brake material. Just a light bit. And you can actually see some metallic particles in this material. Not sure if that is wear or grindings that come from the drum. I don't think so, but yeah. This is the first time that I'm doing a drum brake job. So yeah. I'm not an expert. Well, let's reassemble everything. Oh, I'm forgetting a washer. To be honest, I'm not really sure if there was a washer on the underside. I will look at the recordings that I made yesterday. Well, I'm back. And I looked at the recording from yesterday, and as far as I can tell, there wasn't a washer or a spacer inside this brake mechanism. So let's reassemble this. Here's the bushing that fits over the cone. Next a washer, and now a lock nut. I'm not sure, but there might be a special tool that you can use to grab this bushing. I got myself a number 17 spanner, and I'm holding this brake reaction arm while I tighten up this nut. Well, that is definitely too tight. It's still not spinning free enough. Let's try this again. I don't feel any play on the cones. But I will loosen it up just a little bit more. It seems to be spinning freely and smoothly. It looks like there is a little bit of a sideways wobble. It probably will take a little time before the brake shoes have been wearing into the brake drum, but it still works, and I guess I will find out how good it works when I take my test ride. Now I'm testing the spokes. These are pretty loose. You know what? I will take off the tire and put the wheel in my truing stand. So here you can see that there is a significant sideways wobble in the wheel. I will try and see if I can improve this a little bit. You know, I'm not an experienced wheel builder. I can still count the number of wheels that I made on one hand, but I'm confident that I should be able to improve this a little bit. It might take me an hour, but it will get done. And this is what it looks like after turning the nipples for maybe 20 minutes. It's still not perfect, but it's good enough for me, especially since this bicycle doesn't have any rim brakes. So let's reinstall the wheel and go to bed. This is the front mudguard, and here you can see that a lot of paint is peeling away. Well, I'm going to remove the loose paint and then put on some oil. And then it will be good enough. I should have washed this mudguard today. All of the mudguard material, all of the steel is still here. It's just a bit rusty. No big deal. Well, I'm not going to mess with paint, so I'm painting on some oil. So I guess this is oil paint, and if it's good enough for Rembrandt, it's good enough for me. Of course this will wash away, but now there will not be any moisture trapped behind the paint, so it is some sort of a improvement. It's time to reinstall the wheel. And I need to line up the brake reaction arm with the fork. And a nut with a Gazelle logo. And the wheel is back in the bicycle. Now I need to hook up the brake cable. Well, the drum does make a little bit of noise, but maybe that will get better with use. Well, I had to loosen up the brake cable just a little bit, and now the drum is no longer rubbing. I think it sounds good. Well, that job wasn't too bad for my first drum brake tune-up on a bicycle. I did cars before, but yeah, those are a bit more complicated, and they need a lot more work with a hammer. Jumbo pumps should really make these hoses just a little bit longer. Enough. And I already did the rear one. Before I go to bed, I should repeat the test that I did near the start of this video. So standing on the brake lever with my clogs, and now I'm trying to move the wheel. Well, I can move it, but it is definitely a lot harder to do than at the beginning. Tomorrow we'll do some more testing. Well, good morning. It's testing time and feeding time, and the chickens are willing participants in my ShitShow production. Alright, I will let them eat, and after that I will test the bicycle just a bit. So I'm braking, and I can still move the bicycle forward without sitting on the saddle, but I am able to flip the wheel. And I did a little test ride, and the brakes aren't really impressive, but they are easy to modulate. They are not scary. So I think this is a improvement. Okay, this is only the rear brake. Well, it is able to stop the bicycle. That was the front. Good enough for me. So that's enough testing, and I think this was a success. I'm happy with the result. Seagulls.
Noisy bastards. Alright, that was a good practice run for when I start working on my Batavis bicycle or my Koga Miata bicycle. Both also have brake issues. Alright, thanks for watching. Next time I hope to make videos a little bit shorter.